Day 8, Self-Sealing Argument. Today Chris and Tina had gone carol singing with the neighborhood choir. Tina really loved singing carols. She loved losing herself in the songs, feeling the music and singing, hearing the beautiful harmony of different voices. Chris also liked singing, but on this particular day his focus was more on exploring the question of whether Santa truly exists or not. After finishing their caroling, they gathered round and warmed themselves with cups of cocoa and hot spice apple juice. Seizing the opportunity, Chris approached the choir director and asked her about Santa and verbalized his doubts. Miss Nisita smiled and responded, "Santa's magic is beyond our understanding, so any attempt to disprove it is just part of the mystery. People who doubt Santa lack the belief in magic." "I believe that argument is designed to dissuade skeptics from asking questions," Tina remarked when Chris shared the conversation with her later, "because it surely doesn't persuade those who don't believe in Santa of his existence." "Well, but from the perspective of someone who believes in Santa, it still seems like a reasonable stance," Chris countered. "But is it really?" Tina asked. "If they were simply stating that you need to experience it to believe it, or it's something you can't prove or disprove, that would be one thing. But it is beyond that, creating two groups, those who know the truth, as if magically enlightened, and those that don't. It discourages any kinds of questioning and fosters division." "But isn't that sometimes the truth?" Chris asked. "Maybe in the end it comes down to the question whether one believes or not, and there is nothing more to it. Yesterday we discussed that certain things can't be measured, yet are still real. Remember the start of our quest when none of the arguments Evan or I brought up could convince you. A few days ago we found that those arguments were based on presuppositions, ones you didn't hold, and hence you wouldn't arrive at the same conclusion." "Yes," Tina affirmed, "certainly, but I thought we were attempting to determine if the question of Santa's existence can be proven. It could be a valid conclusion that it cannot be proven either way, and is a matter of belief or personal experience. However, starting with that conclusion as part of an argument closes off any path to discovering other aspects. It somewhat encourages individuals to switch off their minds and simply believe, fostering a them and us mentality. I mean, look at what we've learned from each other so far. I believe we have both enriched our perspectives on the world, even if in the end we agree to disagree." Chris mused. "You do have a point there." He suddenly grinned and went through his postcards and pulled out a quotation card. "You can stand on your point of view, but you shouldn't sit on it." Erich Kästner. "In all affairs it's healthy now and then to hang a question mark on the things you have long taken for granted." Bertrand Russell. Tina sighed. "Suppose, considering how challenging this is, I shouldn't have been so adamant on my position towards Evan. Maybe I provoked him too much. Do you think I should apologize? Maybe I can even learn why he is so certain that Santa exists." "It would certainly make my life easier," Chris stated. "Having two friends who dislike each other is quite challenging. Also, isn't this the time of year all about kindness and goodwill? Can't you get over his insults?" Tina noticed the warm feeling that suddenly came up in her heart. Chris had called her a friend. She smiled and vowed she would do her best to patch things up with Evan. Self-sealing argument. A self-sealing argument is constructed in a way that makes it resistant to falsification or counter-arguments. It often includes built-in mechanisms that protect the argument from being easily disproven. The idea is to create a mechanism within the argument itself. The goal is to make it difficult for someone to challenge or refute the core premises.